Not- Okay, so hi and welcome to Not Right in the Head. Dr. Wonky was going to start it, but he's not going to. And it's starring Joyce the Hammer Nance and Paul Richardson, Dr. Wonky / Dr. Wonky.
And I'm not starting it.
You're not starting. He's not starting anything. All right, well then I shall start it. And
I'm curious.
I wanted to talk about Senator Reverend Raphael Warnock.
Reverend Doctor, isn't it the Reverend Doctor?
Oh, yes. Actually, he does have a PhD. Yes, he does.
He's the Reverend Doctor.
He is the Senator Reverend Doctor.
Right.
Okay, so anyways, I just thought it was interesting, his journey to political success.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know his bio, but I was going to tell you about it in case you were interested.
Okay. No, I'm not entirely familiar with it.
You haven't studied his bio? Okay. All right. He was born on July 23rd, 1969.
Oh, I did know that.
You knew what day he was born?
Well, yeah, because I looked it up recently because I was just curious as to which of them was older, Herschel Walker or the Reverend Warnock.
And which one is older?
Herschel Walker.
How old is he?
He's 60. He was born in 1962, and let's see, his
1962.
Yeah,
make him 60. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So, the Reverend Warnock is only 53. So yeah, he was born then. He's 53 years old in Savannah, Georgia, and he grew up. And this is like the.
Now that would be. Oh, he'd also be. That's where Jimmy Carter's from, isn't it? Oh no, Jimmy Carter's from Plains. Sorry, Jimmy Carter's from Plains, Georgia. So yeah, okay, Savannah. Okay.
Okay, so he's from Savannah, or he was born in Savannah. He grew up in public housing, which anybody that knows public housing, that is not that great. He was child number 11 of 12. So, wow. His both of his parents were Pentecostal priests, but I'm not. Are those the ones that talk in tongues? Pentecostal?
I think they are. Yeah.
Okay, and his dad also restored cars, and his mom, when she was in high school, picked cotton in the summer. That was her summer job. So he did not come from wealth at all, or anything close to it, or privilege. But he was a very determined guy. I did not write down where he went to high school, but he graduated cum laude from Morehouse University with a bachelor's in psychology. And he went to Morehouse because he wanted to follow in the steps of, guess who?
Martin Luther King Jr.
That's correct. Of MLK. And
the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Yeah, that's right. Once you get the Reverend Doctor thing going, you don't want to stop.
Right.
So let's see. Then he went on to get his Master's of Divinity, Master's of Philosophy, and PhD from Union Theological Seminary, which is a part of Columbia University. And then after he graduated, he worked in various churches in Georgia and Maryland. Then he became the senior pastor at Ebenezer Baptist Church, which was also where, guess who was a senior pastor? Did you guess?
Yeah, I did. Martin Luther King Jr.
All right.
Reverend Dr. Martin Luther
This is
King.
not only a biography, it's a quick side quiz on MLK.
So you went to Ebenezer Scrooge Baptist Street at Ebenezer Scrooge Baptist Church?
I do not believe that Ebenezer Scrooge was involved.
That wasn't part of it.
No, I'm going to say no.
Okay.
They probably have had millions of jokes about that, but
Yeah, right.
that, I guess there was like another person named Ebenezer.
Right.
He was the 5th youngest person to be a senior pastor. And the entire time he's been in the Senate, he has kept that other job. So he has a side hustle as a senior pastor at Ebenezer
okay.
Baptist Church in Atlanta. What else? In 2013, he delivered the benediction of the public prayer service at the second inauguration of Barack Obama.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this guy is obviously a hard worker and ambitious.
Yeah.
Because all these things he's done, they are not nothing.
Right.
In 2019, he hosted an interfaith meeting on climate change at his church featuring Al Gore and William Barber. 2014, let's see, what did he do? Oh, in 2014, his kind of first foray into politics was he went to the state legislators in Georgia and was trying to get them to expand Medicaid. Sorry.
Medicaid, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, Medicaid. And then his political career is kind of amazing because he didn't start it until 2020. That's when he was like, hey, maybe I'll run for senator. And most people don't start at senator. They start, at school board or city council or dog catcher or at least state legislature or even House representative is lower. But no, he's like, maybe I'll run for state senator. So I don't remember why I don't remember what preceded there being like a fill-in of Kelly Loeffler. I think it was in 2019 or something. Do you remember why she filled in?
Wasn't that the death of
somebody died?
I think one of the senator died. I can't remember.
Okay, well that would make sense. Okay, so then and so she was appointed.
Yeah.
But then she had to run.
Right.
In 2020, and she lost actually by a lot. She was an incumbent, like a quasi-incumbent anyways, because she had it, which is usually like a leap pad to getting it for real, but not for her. I mean, I don't know if you ever heard her talk, but she talked like, the MAGA people, just insane.
It's all ginned up and angry.
Yeah, very angry, and anybody that wasn't on her side was an extremist far left.
Yeah, well, because it's true. If you're all the way over to the right, everybody is.
That's true.
Everybody's left of you. Yeah, everybody's
way left, and so that's the extreme left. Okay, well, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
So she talked like the one that just lost.
Carrie Lake,
Arizona. What's her name?
Like Carrie Lake.
Carrie Lake. Yes. Yeah, they were very, very similar.
And then she was, Carrie Lake was just this is just outrageous that I lost.
I understand her outrage that she thought that the deck was stacked in her privileged favor, but
yeah, right. Or like Laura Ingraham last night, who, being the journalist, newswoman that she is, says, I'm pissed. I'm just pissed. That's what you say when you're on the.
Who is she mad at?
Well, actually, she started raking on Republicans. They just
Was
do
she
the same
going
damn
after,
thing all the time. They
was she
just
going after Trump?
no, she's going after everyone. It's just she's one of those team players who, when we lose, if you were on a football team or a volleyball team, she goes, you just screwed up, man. That's what she would be. I'm pissed. You just effed everything up.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's her. She was going after everybody, all the Republicans, and how poorly they ran this race, but not Herschel.
She didn't criticize Herschel?
Not that I was aware, not that I heard.
Oh,
No, it's
okay.
everybody
Well,
else's fault.
I actually have a hard time criticizing Herschel as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was, I mean, he was a person that just kind of like fell into it. I guess he kind of had political ambitions before Trump decided to give him a shove. But what he had to say in the terms of politics, I don't even know. I mean, he didn't speak
he
like
didn't.
Kelly Loeffler or.
No. Well, and he didn't know that he was running for the Senate. I think he kind of indicated the day before yesterday that he thought he was running for the House.
Oh, okay.
So we already got the House anyway.
Right.
So we got all the committee assignments.
We actually
he was not sure what, but yeah, I have criticizing Herschel Walker just for being clueless or mentally ill. It only goes so far, because you can criticize somebody who you feel should know better, but I honestly don't think he does know better.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he was a different person prior to getting the nomination.
No, he was the same guy denying that he'd gotten women pregnant and paid for their. Yeah, he was that same guy all the time. I mean, you could tell just by the fact that it wasn't a step too far for him to lie about the fact that he had paid for not one but 2 abortions. So yeah.
Well, and again, that's just what we know about. Whenever there's a smoke, there's usually like a giant dumpster fire going on, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's true. I don't, somebody like I heard somebody I know.
Is that your Mitch McConnell?
Oh, you can tell.
he is.
That's like what they said about. Do you hear what he said when
about the handshake?
Well, yeah, about the hand. You heard what he said? He said,
I did hear what he said, but I don't remember it.
Yeah, he said that was right.
Yeah.
Just like what he said about Rick Scott running for the Senate leadership, Republican leadership. He said, sounded a lot like the same thing as what he said about the handshake.
Yeah. Well, so anyways, the Republicans, they just talk I think they're kind of like birds that somebody taught them to talk somewhere along the line, and they just spew out words every now and then that don't make sense.
Well, let us not be waylaid by their tomfoolery from your biographical review, because I think it's fair to say the point is that the Reverend Dr. Raphael Warnock is a very accomplished man, and I was going to say, I don't think it's a step too far to think that, his first political ambition or endeavor was to run for Senate in 2020 because of the other accomplishments that you mentioned. Being the youngest senior pastor. Now, I mean, that may not seem like it's not a political post, but
yeah, but that's a huge church.
Yeah, exactly. And not only that, for instance, Washington Senator Patty Murray went from, remember, she was a mom in tennis shoes. She went from running, she was on the Shoreline District School Board, Shoreline School District School Board, and then United States Senator was her next contest.
Mm-hmm.
And she won in a bizarre exchange between herself and the Republican who was Congressman, 8th District Congressman Rod Chandler, who snatched defeat from the jaws of victory in that their debate in 1992, when she decided to read off all the things that, and she kind of did read them in this and the things that are wrong with you are, and she read them off in a list,
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, it did sound like a mom in tennis shoes who's on a school board reading a list of bad things about him. And then he responded by going, well, dang me, take a rope and hang me. Woman, don't you weep for me. Hang me from the highest tree.
Oh, he went Roger Miller on her?
Yeah, and everybody just, huh? and everybody knew right then, you just lost. You just died right there. And she won. She just blew him out.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't know, these Republicans. I mean, I do see Republicans that are not brain dead, like Adam Kissinger is not brain dead, but
Kinzinger.
Kinzinger, sorry. Yeah, Kissinger he's a bad guy, Kissinger. Sorry.
Well, I don't know about whether he's a bad guy, but he's a different
Yeah, Kinzinger, he has a brain and he seems very smart, and thus the Republicans don't want anything to do with
them. Liz Cheney has a brain. Liz Cheney is not stupid.
Oh no, Liz Cheney has a brain too. Well, I mean that takes guts beyond guts to do what she did.
Well, not only that, I was impressed the way she spoke and presented her during the January 6th committee hearings. I found her impressive.
Well, she is a lawyer,
Yeah, it's obvious. She really does know her stuff. I mean, she's and I don't know how much she's practiced, but she does seem well practiced at what she, So I don't think she just has a JD and never did anything with it. She obviously has some experience with hearings and so on. So okay.
Right. Yeah. But
I cannot see. For instance, I would have a hard time seeing Herschel Walker running a committee like that.
No.
Although I could see the Reverend Dr. Raphael Warnock being eloquent in any situation, in any setting.
Right. So that's the thing is it's just so insulting to everybody for him to have been running, and everything about it just seems so racist.
Well, is it because what they're trying to? It was interesting that the Republicans tried to point out or tried to stick the racism label on the Democrats for treating Herschel Walker like he was so dumb. They said, see how as if there weren't two black men running, right?
Right.
As if Raphael Warnock were a white person.
I know, but the thing of it is, I mean, like Forrest Gump used to say, stupid is as stupid does. And, he was just himself. That's why it's hard for me to blame him. It's like, if you get on a bandwagon and somebody's willing to pull be the horse and pull you.
So if it was Laura Ingraham, she didn't say as much, but was she angry that they should have known that Herschel Walker just wasn't going to pull it out?
I didn't see Laura Ingraham. You did.
Yeah,
that was you.
No, I heard clips.
Don't confuse me.
No, I heard clips of her. I didn't actually watch, but now I kind of wish I would have watched Fox a little bit. But I can't stand it for long enough to have gotten to that part. So, but yeah, I heard clips of her this morning being played that she was, I'm pissed and all this, and just sounding like the little entitled little drunk that she is.
Well, I would guess that
her and Janine. I could just see her and Janine Pirro with a bottle of gin between them, that would,
Well, I would think that they might have cut to a documentary about Hunter Biden's laptop.
Oh yeah.
What about that?
Well, that's what they are cutting to. They cut straight away to that. That was what was on right-wing media today, is that's what they're going to lead with, is Hunter Biden's laptop.
Okay.
Because they are pissed and they just lost. They just got their asses handed to them again. And, they didn't run a candidate who was really, think about it this way. If it was, I knew 51-49 is a decisive race. That's not worthy of a recount. It is 51-49 is a win.
Oh, for Warnock? Yeah, he won by like 40,000 votes, something like that. As of now, I'm sure there's still more to be counted, but as of now.
I mean, had they had someone, a better candidate, but here's the problem is that they're going to have, when they're trying to get somebody who will just be a yes man, you're not going to come up with better candidates.
Right. Yeah. I
I
mean,
mean, even JD Vance, JD Vance isn't stupid, and he pulled out his race, but he's not a good candidate. And he just made a complete ass of himself in Ohio. But that's Ohio. You see, they weren't. I thought Tim Kaine ran a very good race. It was a very impressive candidate. Not Tim Kaine, sorry, Tim Ryan.
okay. Yeah, please. Tim Kaine, I don't like.
Not Tim Kaine. Tim Ryan was an impressive candidate and really took it to JD Vance in terms of JD Vance saying you'll kiss Donald Trump's ass. I mean, that's JD Vance JD Vance never needed to say that. He never needed to act that way. I mean, he is, he has a Yale law degree from Yale Law School, and he's somebody who brought himself up from also
So he has some credentials. Okay. All right. Well, that is a better candidate than somebody that was a running back.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's just like that's the point is it does seem like they said, get a black guy, right? He's our black guy.
But I don't even understand that logic. What was that logic for?
To show that we're not racist. Go get a black guy to show that we're not racist.
Okay.
And then I guess they just thought, I mean, why would you did they not? It was kind of like
so that just showed they were racist. And then I saw the people that were voting for him, all old white people.
They're all racist, yeah, because they know how just incompetent he sounds, and that's just because of the various things. He has head injuries from playing professional football. He's not particularly bright to begin with, and he has mental illness. He has acknowledges that he has mental illness
issues
and anger issues. And the other thing is that to the things that he can speak to, such as that a werewolf can kill a vampire. I really wanted to find out. If I'd have been there, I'd ask him, did you know, Herschel, that there are 5 different kinds of werewolves? And it might depend on what kind of werewolf.
I didn't.
Oh yeah, there are 5 different types of werewolf morphologies. And I would think that it would depend on which kind of werewolf. This is what you learn when you have taught high school kids who are into different types of fantasy games, right?
Oh, I see. Okay.
This is what I learned as a high school teacher 30 some years ago. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, no kidding. There are 5 different morphologies of vampires. There are ones that look like wolves. They're like dogs, and then they gradually start to stand on 2 legs, and then I suppose the kind we're familiar with is just a man who turns into a kind of like, with his teeth, and he turns into a werewolf. But there's other kinds. Yeah, there's like 3 different kinds in between: the dog that's a werewolf and or a wolf that's a werewolf, and then it's really fascinating.
So was the Hulk a werewolf?
No, I don't think Hulk was a werewolf. No.
Oh, okay. He was just a superhero. All right. Okay, just checking your. Okay, so what is your topic, Dr. Wonky?
Oh, do we? It hardly seems worth going into now that we've got.
We have.
Well, I mean, it's just moving on. What the Republicans, now that they really did get their butts kicked here. I would say that if we look at the election, the 2022 congressional election. Now, I don't say midterm, but in terms of percentage of victory, there were gains on the Republican had gains, but the Democrats had a gain of net gain of 1 senator, which is 2%.
Which could turn out to be huge.
Yeah, and the Republicans gained 7 seats. It's not 2%. No, it's close.
I didn't. Do you know what the net? What is the count on the Republicans in the House, or do you know? Because I was trying to.
I think it's almost like it was with it flipped over. I think it's the Republicans will have 220, Democrats 215 or 215.
Oh, so they just have 2 over the minimum?
Yeah.
Wow, that's not very much. I know. I was just looking to see their advantages, and I came up with that the Democrats would have judge appointment ability, less, not have to worry about Manchin so much.
Right.
Be happy that the voters mainly rejected the ultra MAGA Republicans.
Yeah, they ultimate the well across the board where there wasn't Republican gerrymandering in and where there were fair districts, the Democrats by and large won.
Well, even where they had it, I mean, in Georgia, they did everything they could to make it impossible for the Reverend Warnock to win, and he won anyways.
Right, and that's a statewide vote.
That's a statewide vote, but still, they do it by the county. So
yeah, they did all kinds of things to try and but that's eventually going to boomerang on them, so to speak, as they'll start shutting down their own they'll suppress their own vote. They'll obstruct. If you obstruct, you're going to obstruct some of your own too.
They have to, yeah.
And there are people, I would say that especially in rural areas that are less educated and poor, there are going to be, if you make it difficult to vote, they're going to be, your poor white people are going to say, "Oh, screw it, I'm just not going. I don't want to bother with it." Right? It's not that important to me.
I don't think very many poor white people vote. I don't think that demographic is not. I mean, to some extent, I mean, I do talk to some of them, but I would say, the more educated you are, the more likely you are to vote.
If you're white, I'd say if you compare economic demographics,
well, yeah, if you're white,
poor black people vote way more than poor white people do.
Yeah. No, that's what I mean. But that's what was my point, that poor white people, they're not big voters.
No, because especially if they live in a kind of a white place like Georgia, they think they're entitled and they're taken care of already. They don't need to.
Right. Well, and
they don't need the issues aren't that. But now the thing is that in terms of it's all going to be, the Republicans are. It's got the whole thing that they're going to try and push, and the test will be in this sort of divided Congress, where nothing's going to get done, is which party makes the best case for themselves, given that nothing's getting done. And the Republicans are going to try and create a lot of outrage with all these, with the Spanish Inquisition. They're going to be the Spanish Inquisition.
Okay, but here's my question about Hunter Biden's laptop. Since whatever they're talking about is 4, 5, 6 years old, I don't know how old it is. If there was anything, wouldn't it have already emerged?
Well, the problem with Hunter Biden's laptop is, I think that story, the story about Hunter Biden and being, as I understand it, the point about the laptop, which is a couple of years old now, I don't know where I heard that it was, it broke 700, almost 800 days ago. So it's more than 2 years. About 2 years and several months, 2 years, 3 months, something like that. Anyway, that this was the evidence that showed that there was corruption in China and his corrupted China deal, because he was, and of when he worked at the company,
the company that paid a bunch of money.
Ukrainian oil and gas company.
Yep.
And that he didn't know anything about. He was on their board, and that he worked for them as a lawyer, and he doesn't know anything about the fossil fuel business, which frankly doesn't matter. I mean, if you're a lawyer and you're working in international law, and what you're working on is contracts, I would say that most lawyers who work for a large company, probably know little, if anything, about the actual product that the company produces, because their whole deal is to do contracts, and it really doesn't matter. The contracts have to be in proper form. It doesn't matter what the company's product
Well,
is.
anyways, I don't know what they're going to come up with, and
Nothing. The point is that the laptop came up as so-called proof, but here's the problem with Hunter Biden's laptop. It doesn't really exist, because wherever it is now, and I've heard that, the FBI has it. My question is, how long has it been since Hunter Biden has had his own laptop? Because it only came out 2 years ago, or over 2 years ago, that somebody in a repair place in Massachusetts had it and found this stuff on it. So in other words, this was not evidence that was confiscated in a search by law enforcement. But if the FBI has it now, how long has it been since Hunter Biden has actually had his own computer? And what is the chain of custody of this laptop that supposedly, and if it's not a certifiable chain of custody that can be verified, that nothing was done to this laptop in the meantime before it existed? And why does if the FBI has it, but they never actually had a warrant to have it, why do they have it? They should be giving it. If Trump wants his papers back, then they should have been handing this laptop back to Hunter Biden a long time ago, because
Trump's not getting his papers back. They just took some more today. But you know what?
Right.
We're out of time. I know. But anyway, so I'm going to sign off of this. This was episode 40, by the way.
Oh,
wow. Everybody loves a round number. But so this has been Not Right in the Head with me, Joyce, the Hammer Nance, and
this is Paul Richardson.
Paul Richardson, Dr. Wonky. And we will see you next time.